This area right here is the Dead Zone and has been listed as one of the most haunted roads in the South.
This is in my backyard, y'all. I have driven across the I-4 dead zone on a daily basis, and that was before they repaired and moved the bridge over. Yes, it used to be a little bit closer to the river walk, but it's interesting. It's interesting history. So before Sanford was the town and port that we know it historically as, by the way, My Girl was filmed there. um, there was another settlement. It's right where they built the original bridge across at. And that settlement was wiped out by yellow fever. If you've ever been down here to see the oldest city, St. Augustine, they talk about the yellow fever being a huge problem throughout many centuries here in Florida and taking out decades and generations of humans. But I think the last survivor or the last one to die out in this town, and mind you, this is me trying to remember it from memory, was a little boy. And a lot of the stories when I was starting to drive across that section to go to the beach, that was our main way, people would talk about seeing the little boy on the bridge or the little boy showing up in their car. Of course, cell phones and radios cut out. If anyone has ever crossed some of the wider sections of the St. Johns River, you'd also know that there are huge spans on either side for the most part of flood field and floodplains. That river rises and falls quite a bit, and it's very flat here. You just drive straight as an arrow on those sections forever, but it's hard to get antennas out there, so that doesn't surprise me. But what I do remember seeing on that old bridge, the original, is this huge, like gnarled up part of the bridge. It was always on the side going, when you're leaving Sanford going towards Deltona, Casadega, the largest psychic community in the world, by the way. So there's a lot of weird energy in this area. But yeah, they were in a rush. There was a hurricane coming in, and they completed that bridge on top of those graves and didn't move them afterwards either. After that, everyone called the bridge cursed. Every hurricane would drive its way up the I-4 corridor, and they would blame it on this incident because the bridge was completed in that section. That was like the last little bit, and they blame it on that. Some people have done numbers and math and shown like the really weird math behind and correlation of dates between years that the hurricanes have hit and the number of crashes per year. So finally they upgraded and renovated the road, and suddenly the bridge nudged over, which I thought was interesting. And then over to the other side of where the bridge used to be, they put up a really nice park. So yeah, do they ever move the bodies? I don't know. Rumor has it, no. But it's a local legend, right? And it being a local legend, when Jolene Haley had a call for urban legends as a theme on her blog site, because she does like spooky stories, or used to. I don't know if she still does. I love those, Jolene. Thank you for letting me participate. I wrote one about the Yellow Fever Bridge, about a woman crossing the bridge to join her friends for wine night, and stuff gets really creepy. And that story lives in Val's House of Musings. It's called Yellow Fever Bridge in the horror section. So that's a fun story based off a lot of real history that still haunts social media, which is really cool. So I got excited when I saw this woman posting and talking about it, and I wanted to talk about it because it's not very often it's something I've connected. But later I will share my story about having the stop in Casadega as a teen and it being a really bizarre incident. But that's a really cool place to visit if you're here in Florida and like spiritual camps. But yeah, Yellow Fever Bridge. You've probably passed it. If you've ever driven on I-4 headed out of Orlando towards Daytona Beach, you have been on the I-4 dead zone. I didn't even know. So be careful. Happy travels, safe travels, and happy reading, guys.